All right. This is it, possibly. This is for all the potatoes. Yes, I could have said marbles, I could have said dollars, I could have said anything else, but I like potatoes. I just think they're neat. And they're brown, also, like the wine. We have been doing this taste test for quite a while at this point, with, of course, the fancy Argon versus the idea of just, vacuum pumps and vacuum valve stoppers. How do they compare? How do they compare to one another and to nothing other than jamming a cork back in? Well, we got one solid result, which we knew, which is that just shoving a cork in wine and leaving it room temperature on a shelf is not a recipe for success. That wine cratered hard. But the others, as the tests have been showing, they've been holding up. So much so that this went way longer than I expected. For those who didn't watch the whole video, right, I've been called out of town, and we are many weeks in at this point. We are beyond a month with open bottles. My glorious and lovely wife, Tara, randomly assorted these. I don't know where they are. I don't have to give it the spin, but I will anyway. And now at this point, we're just going to say, this is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. Some of these are smelling interesting. This is number 4. This is number 5. And this one is number 6. So they are absolutely all 100% room temp this time. I know sometimes those fridge ones, because these 3 have been in the fridge in between sessions, and these have been on the rack. Some of those fridge ones, maybe they didn't come all the way up to temp. These have been room temp for hours. So, and these have all been breathing for about 20, 30 minutes at this point. This is about as bare bones as they can be in the flavor department. Let's go ahead and see where we are with number 1 is, there's not a lot there. I wonder if that, by the way, of course, because one of them we had to pitch during the last test. We have one more opened. You can see the levels right here, like opened this afternoon. We've got that one in the mix. Who knows? Maybe that's it. Number 2. Again, not so much. Huh. Number 3 is a little odd. There might be something chemically happening there. I don't know. Number 4. Boy, I don't know if my nose is just in a different place tonight, but there's not a ton happening. And we're not using, balloon glasses to really capture everything, but number 5 is not, none of these are objectionable the way the room temperature death bottle was. And number 6, like, maybe a little strange there, but I gotta say, maybe we're coming down to the taste. All right. Number 1. It's a little, I don't know, man. We wouldn't call that appealing. No, that's, okay. Well, a little bit of sour fruit is kind of happening there. I don't think that's the brand new bottle. Let's see here. Number 2. Marginally better. I wouldn't call that great either. Less of a sour note to it. Something is, compared to the first one, number 1 was not as good as 2. Number 3. There's an oddness maybe on the nose. That's a lot like number 1. I'm wondering if those were some of the room temperature ones that are just not going to hold. I don't know. Who knows? I haven't found that heavy chemical hit that I was getting before, though, on some of the Argon ones. I don't know. Number 5. No, I'm sorry. This is number 4. Number 4. That tastes vaguely chemically. It doesn't taste sour. Yeah. That's, man. I don't like that. Now the true number 5, not that imposter number 5 from a second ago. The nose is not overwhelmingly, I don't know. All right, let's just dive in. That's okay, clean. Aftertaste isn't quite there. It gets a little bitter on the aftertaste. And not, compared to some of the other ones, we're not going to call number 5 a wreck by any means. And number 6. Let's see. We haven't found any, horrendous ones compared to that room temp. Doesn't smell as terrific here. Number 6. It doesn't taste chemically. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. It's a little more tart, and the aftertaste is in a weird place for me. I don't know, man. I don't know. Want to just find out what's going on here? You've been keeping track. We see which ones I liked and didn't. But number 1. Number 1 I didn't like. Number 1 is vacuum at room temperature. So it's just not quite hanging. Number 2 I said wasn't bad. Right? Number 2 is Argon in the fridge. Okay. I don't know if we're getting the Ouija board self-fulfilling prophecy. It has a little chemically on the aftertaste, but I don't know. Number 3. I also didn't like number 3, if I recall. I don't like that. What do we got here? Vacuum in the fridge. Huh. Previous test, that one was holding up. Maybe we're just at the point where no matter what you do, some things are just not going to quite hang this long. Number 4. 4, I think I really didn't like. Maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember if I liked this or didn't, but this one was Argon at room temp. Okay. We still haven't found the original bottle, right? Maybe it was number 5, I think. I think I like number 5. Let's see. I don't recall liking number 6, which is going to be funny if it's the fresh out of the, open bottle here. Number 5. That's not terrible. And number 5 is the brown as brown gets. That is fresh out of the bottle. Okay. So number 6, who's doing the math here? This is control in the fridge, probably. Yeah. Just shoved in the fridge. No treatment. And it is not the best among them. So I think out of everything, interesting. It was one of the fridge ones had a slight edge. The Argon and the vacuum in the fridge. I don't know, man. The Argon room temp definitely was not the winner. And we've seen, this is neat. I think we have finally discovered a few golden rules. One, which everyone already knew. You don't just shove wine back on a shelf. If you've opened the damn wine, wine is living, wine's going to oxidize. It's not going to stick with you for very long. You can honestly do it for a night or so. Who the hell cares? A couple of days, no one's gonna, as long as you shove the cork in it, you're fine. If you're camping or something, who cares? Another thing we have learned, and I think it's safe enough to say, that the Argon, despite being fancy-pantsy and all scientitious-like, I don't think it's worth the money or the hassle or the trouble. You can get one of those vacuum pumps, and vacuum has seemed to at least hang with, if not edge out in some cases, most of the preservation options. We found that throwing things in the fridge extended the life marginally, but not really as much as right now, everything has its limit. And when you think about that limit, honestly, when it comes right down to it, what is the best lesson of all? And I think everyone at Cocktail Con would agree with me. If you open the bottle of wine, unless there is some overwhelming, ridiculous special reason that you needed to preserve it for, what, a special guest coming in from out of town, a relative you haven't seen for years, and you said, oh, I opened that bottle you gave me, you really got to taste it. If you really don't have a situation like that, just drink the whole fucking bottle. Like, it's a bottle of wine. Any one of us can put it down solo, and if you're there with someone else and it's a special night, even easier. So drink well, enjoy what you like. But if if you've had enough, we can all be responsible adults. You can put a bottle away, and it doesn't really matter how you put it away. As long as you shove something in the top of it, you get to it tomorrow, and it's going to be fine. At the end of the day, it's all going to be fine, and we're going to be fine. I'm going to be even finer if I keep drinking more of this. But for the rest of you out there, thank you for coming on this journey. I'll do it again, maybe with some other kind of products, and I've maybe inspired some of you to try this. Maybe you do it even more scientifically than I did by not getting called out of town in the middle of the frickin' test for a couple weeks. Yeah, thanks for enjoying this. I know this was a long one, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for learning. Comment below if you think I did something stupid, which I guarantee I did at least once or twice in this whole process. Okay? Have a good time. Stay safe out there. And they're brown, like our wine. God damn it. Why is this backwards?